Thanks for downloading this episode of Scuffed. Today we have two guests, both of them American heroes. Sanjiv, aka at USMNT Videos, and Chris, aka at Watke. If you're not following them, you're not a real fan of American soccer. We're also trying to do this on video as a sort of experiment, so it'll be on YouTube in addition to your preferred podcast platform. Hey guys, what's happening? You've been hustling.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Adam, everyone else has spent 4 months on lockdown training for the Great British Bake Off while learning fluent Mandarin. I just wrote about soccer nerd stuff and I animated some tactics in PowerPoint. It's like the opposite of hustle.
Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same type of stuff with me. I'm doing good, and it's great to be here.
Good, yeah. Great British Bake Off, huh? A lot of people have been training for that? Oh, yeah,
Yep,
like the sourdough bread and all that.
That's what people are saying.
it's a good show.
All right. So just so everybody knows, where are you guys? Chris, where are you at?
I'm on the eastern shore of Virginia. Do you mean physically where I am?
Yeah.
It's near the Chesapeake
Well,
Bay.
spiritually too, if you could get
Spiritually,
into
I'm in a
that.
good place. Physically, Chesapeake Bay, getting out, seeing the wildlife. Um, went to a crab boil the other day. That was fun.
Nice.
Other than that, relaxing.
Sanjiv, where are you at?
I'm located in the Midwestern suburb, just an hour outside of Indianapolis. I'm locked up in my room, in my house. That's physically where I am. Spiritually, I'm also doing well.
Good.
Thanks, Chris.
Going back to school in a few weeks or a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, I am.
All right.
We'll see how it goes.
All the best to you on that. I hope you fail in this endeavor we're about to do, though. So let me explain what it is real quick. We're doing a draft of uncapped U21 American players back in late 2018 when Sanjiv was in 8th grade. Matt Hartman and I and Joey Antone did one of these. This will be similar. In fact, it'll be the same age group since we're doing U23s, but several players have been capped since then, and instead of drafting a roster, we're each just drafting a starting 11, partly to make it a faster episode. So here are the rules for all y'all listening. Only U.S. eligible players born in 1997 or later are allowed. We go youngest to oldest in the draft order, so Sanjiv first, then Watke, then Belz, and then the draft order snakes for the rest of the picks. Anyone already capped with the senior men's national team is disqualified. That excludes Pulisic, obviously, McKennie, Adams, Sargent, Weah, Mark McKenzie, Uly Llanez, Sam Vines, Jesus Ferreira. Anybody with a cap, even if it's 2 minutes against Costa Rica's D team. We're picking specifically with the goal of assembling the best possible team in 2026. This makes it fun and pretty much releases us from any responsibility to be accurate or correct in our choices, since everything will change by 2026 in ways nobody foresees. And finally, we each need to come up with a starting 11, like I said earlier, a total of 33 players. So, you guys ready?
Belz, I do have a clarifying question. So dual nationals like Balogun, is that off the table, or are we for 2026? I mean, his one-time switch is up in the air. So
Yeah, well, it's on me that we haven't discussed this yet. Dual nationals are fine as long as they haven't been capped by another team. So as long as they're still in play, technically. So Balogun,
okay,
Really,
you can draft
you
him.
did really tip your strategy there, though, which was a mistake.
Yeah,
I
you've
mean,
been
I had
tipping.
to.
You've
I
been
didn't wanna
tipping your
get my
strategy a
pick.
lot.
Yep.
Also,
Good luck, anyway.
Also, real quick for any new listeners, we were supposed to have Ty at final third on the pod today, but he let Noreen cut his hair, and it could have gone better. He's a little embarrassed to be on camera today, but he
Yeah.
wanted us to tell the listeners that he would see y'all on the timeline. So with that
Yeah.
out of the way, I think we can move into the selections. Unless you have anything else to say, Adam.
No, it's like sort of disappointing that Ty couldn't make it, but not all that surprising when it's all said and done.
It's just tie being tie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let's get this rolling. You
All
get to
right,
make
well,
you get to make the case for your player when you make your selection with the first overall pick. Sanjiv.
All right. So, hi guys, I'm Sanjiv, and this is my key draft pick. Um, I'm taking. It's pretty obvious. I'm taking Gio Reyna first pick. I don't think there's too much that needs to be said. I mean, 17 years old, broke into the second best team in Germany, playing in Champions League against PSG, playing every Bundesliga game since he made his debut. Probably would be a starter already for our full team, even without all these uncapped players. So yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have anything else to add to Reyna?
Watke?
Well, I would say Lucien Favre really, really likes him, almost to the point that it seems a bit much. That's my one concern. If you could pump the brakes on that, I'm worried he's going to be overhyping
It's a little
our players.
creepy. It's a little creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, chill out, man.
Also, Jadon Sancho. I mean, there's the United links have really picked up, especially in like the last day. August 10th is like a deadline, so I don't know if they're planning on bringing in a different attacker to supplement those minutes, or if they're really thrusting Reyna into a key role. But that's also something to follow.
Yeah, I mean they'll bring in somebody, right? They always bring in somebody, but yeah, this is shaping up to be Reyna's year to become like a, at least an occasional starter.
Yeah, I mean they'll probably find some 15-year-old playing like Estonia U17 reserve side or something like that.
Yeah,
he'll just turn out to be the next big player. But
the next Emre
for now,
Moore.
The next Emre Moore. But for now, I think Reyna's in a really good spot right now.
Yeah, fits. I mean, we've talked about this on this podcast a little bit. He fits really well as a tucked-in winger in the Berhalter system, and he's clearly the most accomplished player in this uncapped category.
Yep.
Kind of a lame choice, but understandable.
I mean,
yeah, it really was. I'll go ahead and do the number 2 pick now.
Yeah,
it's Chris Richards, the 20-year-old center back at Bayern Munich. He's really a natural defender who he reads the game. He can be proactive in cutting stuff out. See a pass, you combine that with his size, speed, and quickness, and I think he's a solid number 2 pick for me. Good pick. Final take.
I just want to add this, like the first time we ever heard a Watke give a take on anything. Like he's pretty non-committal on the timeline. So this is definitely something new to see.
Well, I'm going to give exactly 11 takes today. I'm ready to go.
All right.
Like all of your editorial judgment goes into deciding who to do a video about, right? I mean,
yeah.
There's
basically, I like it. Yeah.
Some value.
It's a really sophisticated process. So that's like a whole nother discussion. We can get into that on another podcast.
Okay. All right. So pick number 3. I think everybody knows Richards, right? I think you explained him well.
Yeah.
With the 3rd overall pick, I'm gonna take Owen Otasowie, the Wolverhampton center back / defensive midfielder. I believe he's 18 or 19.
He's 18 right now.
Is he 18? Okay. Big, rangy, pretty comfortable on the ball, and strong in the air. But like reads the game pretty well, I think. Like he can close down space pretty fast and break something up or intercept a pass. I'm definitely, hoping that he pans out as a player and that he comes and plays for the U.S. But if those two things happen, he's gonna be one of our top center backs. Pretty sure.
For sure.
He's very confident on the ball, just the way he handles it. So I think that's a positive.
He's got a lot of drip too. He's like top 5 drip in the whole pool.
Yeah, both ball carrying and passing. He's very competent.
I believe he actually moonlights as a fashion model professionally. So that's per Chuck Me 92 Soccer reporting. I haven't verified that independently, but I believe that's true potentially for Burberry.
Yeah,
really?
I think
Burberry?
that is true.
Wow.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Yeah, his Instagram is very fashiony. Okay, we're snaking the draft, so I get to go with the 4th pick. And oh man, let's see. Give me a second here.
Just say Richie had him.
No. This is I'm gonna break all convention here. I'm going with James Sands with my 2nd pick.
Oh,
okay.
The way my team is gonna play, I'm gonna need a cleaner upper in the middle of the field. Sands has convinced me that he is, as a destroyer, extremely valuable player. That doesn't fit Berhalter's system, but I am not Greg Berhalter. I'm Adam Belz. I have my own ideas about soccer. So James Sands is my second pick.
So is this pick as a center back or as a defensive mid?
As a defensive mid.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. I mean, I don't have much to add. He was really good against Toronto. I mean, he wasn't as good. He was a little shaky against who they just play, Portland.
Yeah, they just got crushed, right?
Yeah, he's definitely a little bit more shaky, but still, I mean, it's not too much to really worry about. I mean, he just destroys plays. Great tackler, reads the game really well. Obviously, as you mentioned, his passing is a little indecisive, not indecisive, little conservative.
Conservative.
You know, a lot of back passes, sideways passes, but
yeah,
he's got a little bit of an kind of an edge to him sometimes when he goes into a tackle. I've noticed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna get some red cards. He's gonna get some red cards in his career. Watke, you ready with the 5th overall pick?
Yes, 5th pick. I'm going to go Tanner Tessman, 18-year-old defensive mid for FC Dallas. He's really big, and he can pass, short passes, long passes, all that sort of stuff. Almost became a place kicker for Clemson, but which a lot of people were really excited about. But he did go with soccer. Obviously, that's good for us, and I'm feeling pretty good. He hasn't had a ton of MLS minutes because he just signed in the spring, but he's looked positive. And obviously FC Dallas was not in MLS's back, so
yeah,
we'll just assume he continued developing in the void that we've been living.
I mean, he couldn't even participate in the scuffed dubbed Tanner Tessman games, so it was kind of lacking, wasn't it, Adam?
Yeah, the Tanner Tessman games lost a little of their shine without Tanner Tessman. But yeah, I agree with you, Watke. There's some like a little axe that I've been grinding lately is players who can win battles with other players in like a little 3x3 yard box in the cage, and Tessman does that. I think.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
So does Gio Reyna, by the way. So does Gio Reyna. Like it's amazing how often he comes away with the ball.
We've picked a lot of fighters so far.
Yeah.
I would say in general.
Classic American soccer pundits. We are.
Yep.
Sanjiv, you get 2 picks here, man.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not many center backs left, but I think I'm gonna take a right back. I think I'll take Julian Araujo here. He didn't have the best MLS's back tournament. He was played out of position as a right winger once. Can't remember if he played in the 3rd game or not, but yeah, I mean, his stock is definitely taken a little bit of a dip over the past year, but I would also attribute that to some mismanagement by LA Galaxy themselves. But as a right back or a center back, I'm not sure exactly. He's a little undersized for a center back, but his passing and his defending, it's really strong. So I think for a lockdown player in the defensive back line, I think he's pretty important for my team. And I don't know, with Reyna on the right wing, as I'm planning, his lesser attacking ability won't be as detrimental as it could have been. So yeah. And then
I've noticed he's been playing a good amount on the wing, which obviously isn't ideal. Hopefully they stop doing that.
That would be nice.
They're going to have to change something up in LA because it's not like they're having a lot of success right now.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the 6th overall pick. 7th overall pick, Sanjiv. Yeah, take your time. We're making good time here, so take your time.
It's a tough one. There's a lot of. Yeah, I think I'll take another wing here. I'll take Conrad De La Fuente here. Really loading up the attack right here, but there's some mumblings, some rumors that he may be on the bench for Barcelona's Champions League game. They've got a lot of players injured, some not showing up in Brazil. They've got ineligible players, and I think they only got like 13 or 14 players right now. He's been training a lot with the first team. He's been doing well for Barca B. I think he's got 3 goals and an assist in 5 matches, which is pretty good for an 18-year-old playing in the 3rd tier of the Spanish league. Didn't have the best U20 World Cup, but was playing up in age group. And I think he has taken a step forward this season. I don't know if he'll ever truly be, a Barca. Actually, I don't think he will ever be a Barcelona regular, but I think he'll carve out a nice career in a top 5 league.
Certainly the way he's performed lately has been encouraging, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And just the fact that Barcelona has invested in him in terms of an extension. I know they have a lot of money. I don't know how much that really means, but it's something. So he's probably pretty good. And he's looked, I think, pretty good the past few games.
Mm-hmm. He'd be on your left. Well, just real quick, would he be on your left wing and Reyna on the right wing, or vice versa?
Yeah, he's been playing some left wing. He's been playing left wing for Barca B these last few games, so I'll just put him on the left wing and then Reyna on the right wing for now.
Word. Watke.
I'm going to stick with my FC Dallas theme I have going and pick Ricardo Pepi, the 16-year-old striker for FC Dallas. He's I'd say a relentless runner up top. He combines well. He has an intuition for movement, whether that's coming back to the ball or finding an approach going toward goal. His work rate is always really good, and he also has that edge to him, kind of a little bit of an attitude that you like to see from a 9.
You love to see it.
Yeah, his work rate especially is very good for for a striker. He's especially in the U17 qualifying CONCACAF, he was just running his socks off. It was awesome to see.
Yeah, he doesn't stop.
Yep.
It's good to see that from a young striker too, because that's so much of the job. Pressing and moving off the ball relentlessly is the last thing a center back wants to come up against, and that he's already doing that he was already doing it at 16.
Yeah,
he's doing it at such a young age is a muy good sign, I think. My turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I get to make 2 picks here. I'm gonna go with Abubakar Keita to round out my center backs. Now, I know a lot of people have bad memories of him from the U20 World Cup. I think it's a little bit unfair because he was, he probably wasn't ready for that tournament, but he got called in by necessity because Mark McKenzie wasn't fit, and we didn't have a lot of center backs who were ready for that kind of situation. And he did not, he had some very rough moments in that tournament. But he also does a lot of good things. He's left-footed. He's interested in making progressive passes, and he can do it, and he's reasonably athletic. He's not, he got destroyed by Moussa Diaby a few times in that game against France.
I mean, everybody, Bundesliga defenders get destroyed by Moussa Diaby. You can't hold that too much against him.
Right. So I think I think he's gonna round out into a pretty solid center back, and in a pool with not a ton of center back options, I'm happy to have Odasoe Keita pairing.
I mean, I was laughing when you made that pick because now I don't think there's one really good center back that I can take at this point because you're kind of hoarding them all. Even with James Sands, you can play center back too. Everybody's gone.
Yeah, you really did some damage to our options on center back.
Yeah,
we're in big trouble here.
Gonna have to take some 12-year-olds right now.
This is guerrilla warfare,
Yeah.
I think I'll take Richie Ledesma.
There we go.
There it is.
I'm gonna do more of a double pivot midfield, and so sort of a 4-2-3-1, and Ledesma's gonna be my number 10.
Okay.
My enganche. So everybody who's ever seen this podcast or listened to this podcast has heard me talk about Ledesma a lot. I try to limit how much I talk about him. So let's go back to Watke.
Yeah. I am gonna get serious here now and pick. Because I've kind of been on cruise control so far, but now I'm really ready to kind of stamp my impression on this draft. by picking Jonathan Gomez, the 16-year-old left back
Okay.
for Louisville City. He's very clean with the ball and can start the attack in a lot of different ways from the left back position, whether it's just really basic combination play to gradually build out, or playing it inside, running up the line, kind of in one motion. That's kind of his signature. And then the counter he has on that is cutting in with his right foot, playing a center mid teammate quickly, or carrying himself upfield and looking for a through ball or a big switch. He has some defensive mistakes right now, but he's 16, and that's how it goes.
Yeah, I'm super excited about Gomez. Go ahead, Sanjiv. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, from talking to his coach, former club, analysts, and journalists who know him, reading everything on him in Spanish and English, watching all available footage, reviewing his stats, and then watching 11 minutes, I can tell you that he is a very special left back for the U.S. Hopefully the U.S.
Yeah.
What's his G plus though? Like what's his G plus?
I mean, he's got some drip, some swag. So I mean, it's probably like negative like 0.20 or something. They don't like, players who are fun to watch. They like the boring, simple pass. Don't do anything flashy. No roulettes, none of that stuff. So
yeah,
I'm worried
they're so stuck in the spreadsheet. At the end of the day, they're stuck in the spreadsheet. They need to get in there and watch the game.
Yeah, they're watching. They just pull up their Microsoft Excel. That's how they watch their games. I watch them. I actually watch the footage. So
big advantage for you. Big advantage for you over ASA on that. Yeah, it's
especially. I just want to single out John Mueller. He's definitely the worst at it.
But, I wanted to mention we picked Adam picked James Sands, and I didn't get a chance to mention that John made this James Sands video of him rotating very simply, and then nothing else happening as a result. And that was just really one of the most boring things I have ever seen. I wouldn't say in my life, but certainly on Twitter. And I just want to draw attention to that.
Hey, boring is good for a. Well, sometimes it's good for a center back. For the center back that John likes, it's definitely good.
Yeah, just truly boring though.
All right, I think it's my pick now, right?
Yeah, you get two in a row.
Okay, so I think now that a left back is taken off the board, I think I'll take the other can't miss left back. I'll take Kobe Hernandez-Foster here. Just moved to Wolfsburg. I think he played in a U19 friendly yesterday, actually. Yeah, I mean, he was playing center back a lot for the U17s, out of position, undersized, but he was still, I think, pretty clearly one of the best, if not the best player for the U17s. I don't even know how to describe him as a left back anymore, because I think it's been 2 years since I've actually seen him play there. But I don't I'll let one of you take this, because I'm definitely a little.
My main takeaway with him is watching him pass with his left foot is one of the nicer things to look at, really, in American soccer.
It's one of the least boring things to watch on Twitter.
Yes,
I would say
for sure.
Yeah.
The concern with him is, of course, that he hasn't played for a while. Since that really poor 2019 U17 World Cup, in which he was playing center back, which is clearly not his position. But yeah, high hopes.
For sure.
Kobe and Gomez are if we're gonna have a sort of transcendent left back someday, it's gonna be one of those two.
I know you really wanted to say if we're gonna have the American Marcelo there, but I'm glad you refrained.
Yeah, the first American Marcelo didn't come good, I would say.
Yeah, there's still time.
Yeah, and real quick for all the new listeners, that's George Bello that Adam is talking about.
Yes,
he once compared him. Well, we don't need to get into that.
I mean, if we're gonna be really clear, I said he's a Marcelo type.
That's true.
Marcelo type.
And that's been unfairly twisted. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I almost did this.
It's the only thing. It's the only thing that's been unfairly twisted in the last.
Yeah, that's the problem with doing this draft. We're probably gonna say some things here that
will
in
be
a few years
unfairly twisted.
Pretty dumb. That's fine though. That's fine.
Yeah, I embrace that.
It's the cross we'll have to bear.
Okay.
I think
And then
you're up against
yeah,
Sanjiv. Yeah.
I got one more pick. I think I'll just go all in on my attack here, and I'll take Jose Gallegos here. He's a 18-year-old. I think he's still 18. I don't even know anymore. But he was playing high school soccer just a year ago, but he was also doing really well with San Antonio FC in USL. He's a really saucy. That's really the only way you can describe him. He's a very skillful, tons of flair. He's pretty hard in the tackle. He works. He's a good presser too, I would say. But this year, I think it's pretty clear that he's a scratch or he's a bit above San Antonio's level. So personally, I would hope for a move. I don't know if this is possible, but to MLS or to Europe in the not so distant future, just to make sure that he's continually developing at a level that's good for him.
Yeah. My one concern with Gallegos is that we don't really know what his ambitions are, and it might be that he just stays in San Antonio at San Antonio FC forever. Like that could be his goal. We just have no idea, and try to become like their all-time leader, minutes, goals, assists, key passes, all that. I mean, that's kind of a ridiculous.
Well,
my point is, we don't know what
hoping,
he's trying to do. Yeah.
I'm just I'm just hoping that he'll have more ambition, than being USL Championship leading minutes or whatever. I'm hoping my 2026 right. I'm hoping my 2026 roster doesn't have a player in USL in it, but I mean, you never know.
Yeah. He's good.
He is good. All right. I think Watke.
All right. By the way, Sanjiv's team is far stronger than mine right now. I feel like I'm playing catch up and just getting
mine
more
just has the
speculative
flashy attack.
Yeah. I don't know if I agree, Watke. I think Sanjiv's cruising for a bruising here.
Oh, I guess he is.
We'll win games like 7-6. We'll take the Chelsea approach if they're signing Havertz next season. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my plan.
I should take a center back. I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to take someone also very flashy, who is Kevin Paredes, the 17-year-old winger for DC United. Smooth dribbling, left-footed winger who plays mostly on the right, good technically on the ball, high work rate both sides of the ball, and this is why I'm picking him. He has lots of tricks, and he does them frequently, and I like that sauce, as Sanjiv, I apologize, mentioned.
No, Sanjiv.
Sanjiv.
Yeah.
I apologize again.
No worries, Watke.
But he has sauce and also moxie, which I think are two separate things, but he has
Are they two separate things? Sauce and moxie?
Yes, they are. They are on a basic level. They are. Moxie is kind of the life force that begets sauce. So they're closely related, but you're going to want to look for both of those attributes.
I think I'm tracking with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like Paredes. Like when he's facing up defenders and he's just gonna blow right past them. He actually kind of reminds me of Gideon when he's chasing squirrels. The similarity, in the pursuit, the straight line speed, the acceleration, it's pretty uncanny, if I have to be honest.
Just for everyone who doesn't know what Sanjiv is talking about, Gideon is my son, my 5-year-old son. He had an incident where he was chasing some squirrels the other morning, and chased them a little too far, I think. All is well, though, I should say.
Everything's been resolved on that, and that was good to hear.
Yeah.
That was good to hear.
That is very good to hear.
Thanks, guys. So my turn, right? I think... Yep. Let me consult my little 3x5 card here. I think I'm going to switch up my formation as the ranks of the wingers continue to diminish. I'm going to turn my midfield from a double pivot and a 10 to a sort of a different setup. We'll talk about that more later. But I think I'm going to take Moses Nyman as my next pick, a true sort of box-to-box midfielder. to sit in front of Sands. And then my other pick is going to be Dante Seeley, I think. I'll take Dante Seeley. So Nyman and Seeley. Okay. Seeley will be my right wing. He's left-footed, athletic, pretty good passer, and can finish very effectively with his left foot. I'd say the weakness in his game is like just that he's young. He's got a ways to go in understanding his place on the field and how to maximize his impact. Nyman is is short of stature, but really, really tough in the tackle, like tough in 1v1 duels, even at the USL level for somebody his age. Is he 17 yet, or is he still 16? He's somewhere in there.
I believe he is still 16. He is 16.
Okay. And so he's at Loudoun United or DC United. I guess he's more with DC United right now, but he hasn't played. Did he play in the MLS's back tournament? Like he got a little cameo. Not. Okay, no, he didn't.
Yeah, much to the displeasure of Twitter, he did not. He did not play.
But he's also he's very good at reading pressure and playing out of that quickly and in rhythm.
Yeah,
he's less of a guy who's going to turn and hit it 40, 50 yards, but
he does remind one of Darlington Nagbe a little bit in that way. He's ball secure, but doesn't have a lot of cutting edge yet.
Mm-hmm.
But he keeps the.
I think he also does a really good job, because he's definitely probably always the smallest player on the field, so he's done a good job of leveraging his size to match up against bigger defenders who would usually overpower them, throwing his body, using his body effectively, stuff like that, which will probably be really important. I don't see him becoming like a 6'4", 280 type anytime soon. So definitely things he'll have to continue doing, which is good to see at such a young age already.
Got a great center of balance and all that stuff.
Watching him knock over a much bigger man is, I would say, also one of my favorite things to watch, along with Kobe Hernandez-Foster's left-footed passing. I think those are the two.
Assembling quite a list here.
Those two would definitely be in the top 5 for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly top 5 things to watch on Twitter. Nyman bundling down a big man and Kobe finding a pass.
It doesn't even look like the player should fall down, but the way he gets his body right, it's like a little fulcrum. They just like kind of flips him over him. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
just fantastic.
What this reveals to me is we need more wrestlers who also play soccer. So we need to. USSF needs to make the 4-hour drive west to Iowa and start, putting down roots. That's what I'm saying.
Is Iowa the hotbed of wrestling or something?
Well, historically, yeah. It was like the Duke of wrestling.
I believe Matko, and obviously this is a different thing, but I believe Matko Miljevic does Taekwondo.
Yeah,
or did Taekwondo at a pretty high level. Obviously,
yeah.
I don't know.
Are you signaling what your next pick is going to be?
No, I'm going to go. I'm going to go Taylor Booth, the 19-year-old center mid for Bayern Munich. He thinks quickly, he moves well, plays pretty simply, does it in rhythm, makes the right pass most of the time. Defensively, he's generally in the right spots. He's not a really flashy player other than that, I would say.
Okay. We expect a move up. Is he aged out of Bayern U19s? Is he going to Bayern 2 next season?
He played, I think he had 2 or 3 appearances with Bayern 2 this season. Yeah. They didn't honestly go, they were fine. They weren't great. And I think that's where he'll be next year.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, hopefully he makes, gets a loan to a decent 2 Bundesliga clubs sometime in the next 2 years or so.
Yeah. I don't necessarily see him as becoming a Bayern first team player, but what do I know? And he doesn't need to be an effective cog in this team I'm building.
Okay. Well, I think it's me now. So I'll take my defensive midfielder. I'll take a Johnny Cardoso. So while your guys' players have been, chugging beer, eating hot dogs in USL, Johnny has been playing in Copa Libertadores. He's only played like a few minutes, but still breaking through to, I'm pretty sure the team he's playing for, Internacional, is a pretty big Brazilian side. So even breaking through and playing minutes for their in Copa Libertadores, and also he's playing in some. I'm not exactly sure the all the details behind it, but he's also getting first team minutes in the lower level like state run leagues that Brazil has. So so I think it's pretty impressive at 18 that he's able to do it. I haven't really watched too much of him, but from what I can tell, he's pretty similar to Taylor Booth actually. Similar type of player, similar build, good passer, nothing too flashy, comfortable on the ball, and yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's my thing. My thing with Cardoso is it is really hard to find much footage of him, particularly playing at the 6. There's like 3 games where he did or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, he drops, like, he'll play as a 6 and he'll drop down as a center back a lot for his club. That's mostly what I've seen him do.
He'll drop in between the center backs. Part of the reason there's not much tape on him is he played as a winger and I think sometimes a striker for the better part of last year. Yeah. And this move is pretty recent. And even I'd say the tape that is available, there's not enough minutes where he's getting really tested in terms of what he can do defensively. So we kind of have to guess.
Yeah, but this is a projection pick, not a surefire.
Yeah, he does seem good. And in articles about what camp was he in? I guess the U20 camp.
I think it was the U23s actually.
U23. Everyone was saying very nice things about him.
Yeah,
and calling him a ball winner and that sort of thing.
I heard some stuff privately that was very positive as well. But just because you're good at soccer doesn't mean you can assess whether other people are good at it.
Yeah.
That's what I always wonder when a player says a player was good. Like, I don't know how much stock to put in it. Are they just being nice or what's going on? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
There could be all kinds of things going on. Who knows? We are the only ones who have the pure motivation to tell the truth.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding, everybody. That's not true. We're not the only ones.
All right. Well, I think I've got one more pick. Yep. I think I'll finish off the attack here. Take Falarin Balogun. I probably completely butchered at least his first name, but he played for Arsenal U23s this season. He was putting up like ridiculous numbers, like I don't know, like 50 goals. It's probably an overestimate, but I think I saw something. He was putting up something like he's top of the Premier League 2, which is where Arsenal plays. I think his contract expires the year after this one. So, there's been some talks of Brentford, a potential Premier League side next year, buying him for like 10 million euros, stuff like that. He is provisionally cap tied to England right now. He played in the U17, I think Euros qualifiers for them like 3 years ago, but he has been in the U18 camp for the US. And with England's attacking depth, I just don't see him, unless he turns out to be a really good player, I don't see him really ever breaking through in that. So by 2026, I'm kind of hoping, but I'm also expecting a little bit that he'll either make the switch to the US or to Nigeria. And with his current links, being in a US camp already, I'm hoping the US is where he'll go.
There's certainly an argument for it, right? For him to come play for the
this
US.
Is definitely, this could completely backfire. He might not even be a US player in 2026, but I think if he is, he would be one of our better striker options, especially for this uncapped pool.
So you, in theory, could end up with 10 players on your team. And I hope that's something everyone considers.
It is a possibility, but I could also end up with a starting Premier League striker. Yes. I guess anybody could be that, but I think he's on a good path to that right now.
I think it's a good risk to take.
Yeah, you got to take some risks. You can't be conservative. I mean, G plus might like that, but it's not for me.
There's no downside. There's no downside here.
Yeah.
Watke, who you got for your 7th pick?
I've got a gap at the attacking midfield role, and I'm going to pick a player who can play there or on the wing. I've mentioned him earlier, Matko Miljevic, 19-year-old winger and attacking mid for Argentinos Junior. He can have some really good moments on the dribble, going by guys with some panache. He's pretty strong, like I mentioned. He did Taekwondo, which is a big plus that we discussed earlier. Also, I noticed, by the way, the Argentina league is pretty brutal. He gets fouled constantly, but that's a side note. His passing doesn't really break the game open, so I do have some liabilities there. But I think he's my best option right now to fill in that role. I might flex him out to the left wing later, depending on what happens next.
Mako's right-footed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he tends to play on the left and cut in, but he can also beat guys down the line a little bit. He's not as exciting of a player as I think some people originally thought based on the games I've seen of him, but I think he's solid.
Yeah. Okay. He also, as you mentioned, knows Taekwondo. Right?
Yes, does. I believe he was a successful Taekwondo competitor actually when he was younger. I think he set that aside now and focused on soccer, which I think is a good call for him.
Yeah. Well, when you're walking the mean streets of San Pedro Sula in World Cup qualifying, can't hurt to have
exactly
a Croatian, Argentinian, American with Taekwondo skills.
It can only help.
And is he cap tied to Argentina, or is he
No, I think he
only friendlies or something?
I actually don't know. I know he did a camp with their U20s and maybe their U23s, but they have so many camps. They have these massive camps, so I don't even know. I don't think he's really likely to become a player.
Okay.
Okay. I'm really struggling here on who to take as my next midfielder, but I think I'm gonna go with Frankie Amaya because we're just gonna be a high pressing, win battles in the midfield kind of team, and Frankie can do that. He can also pull out the odd left-footed Golazzo.
Okay.
Is he playing besides Sands?
Yeah, it's gonna be Sands, Amaya, and Nyman, sort of in that order, 6, 8, 10, if you will. I guess I'm moving Ledesma out to the wing.
Okay.
So are you still playing like a 4-3-3 of sorts as a formation? Okay.
After everything I said, I'm going more towards like a Berhalter type situation, except Sands isn't the Jackson Ewell type distributor, but that's okay. Because goals in the modern game are scored in transition, folks. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
So yeah, Amaya, he plays at FC Cincinnati and had a pretty good MLS is back tournament.
Mm-hmm. Scored a Golazzo.
Right. It's kind of a Golazzo, right? It was.
I mean, I think Guzan was a little bit out of position, so maybe it takes away some of the shine. But outside of the box, nice curler.
Yeah.
Maybe not like Golazzo, but very good goal.
Small G. Say it quietly. And then I'm going to take Nico Gioacchini.
Okay.
As my striker. He plays for SM Caen in France, in the second division in France, and he's just an active, physical XG merchant. He's just getting in good spots all the time. The finishing hasn't quite been there, but as anyone at American Soccer Analysis will tell you, finishing doesn't matter. It's about getting in spots. So
yeah, I mean he's blown a few pretty high XG chances, but I mean, I'm sure he'll finish those in due time. You know, as you said, I'm way more happy with him being in the position for those tap-ins. And I think he's had, I mean, these are just rumors, of course, but he's had interest from Sampdoria in Serie A. And also his manager, I think he said like 3 or 4 times that it's going to be hard to keep him at the club for any longer than a year. So hopefully he'll move up from, was he in League 2 right now? In the French second tier? Yeah.
Ligue 2.
There was one clip of his I really liked. It turned into kind of a 2v1 on the break where his guy goes out a little bit wide and he's running, kind of shapes his run around the one defender and gets this really good run to arrive in the box, which you did a great episode about. And if he hits it with his left, it goes in. He lets it run across. The defender puts it off, and he shanks a little bit wide. But the point is, what I liked about it is then he got down on this knee in kind of this like ponderous stance and just stared straight ahead. And then we cut to the goal line camera that's just straight on him. And he's just staring in. And he's got his hand up on his chin, and he holds it for like 5 seconds, so long that even once we cut out of the close-up, we're in the long view, we still see him down a long view on the field, ponderously looking at his camera. And I just thought that was great. In terms of soccer, I don't know how important that is, but just the theatrics of it, I really appreciated. That's something that ASA would not get at all. That's not showing up in their spreadsheets.
No, man.
Yeah, I mean,
they would dismiss that whole anecdote, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, before the anecdote, I mean, the movement that Chris was talking about, I think that's also something he's pretty good at, you know, as we mentioned earlier, but like these bending runs, these late arriving runs to get into space. I think he scored like 2 goals from really good movement this season so far. And his hold up play too is something that I think is pretty good. Especially, how old is he? Is he 18 or 19?
I think he's 19.
Yeah, especially for a 19-year-old striker playing for a first team. His hold-up play is definitely, I would say, above adequate for the level he's playing at.
Yeah, he can knock it off to a guy and then turn really quickly into space. Mm-hmm. And he seems pretty fast. Like, it looks like the defenders really have a problem with him, at least at the
Yeah, I don't think he's had any major injuries. So, you know, as some people would say, athleticism, it ties directly into your injury probability rate. You know, as I don't want to call him out here, but that's just what some people would say.
It's, by the way, I said Gioacchini, it's Gioacchini. Sorry.
Okay, that is very important, the pronunciation. Gioacchini. I don't want to.
Yeah. Thanks for all the encouragement, guys, for me picking the best striker after.
Did we finalize how to pronounce the name of the team? I know you talked about it at one point. I was researching. That's really why I didn't pick him, because I was scared how to say it. It looks like there might be a light R, like it's like Khan.
It's Khan.
How sure you are of this?
I get a lot of messages about pronunciation, and people send me YouTube links, and they love to jump on me.
I'll take your judgment.
I'm pretty sure it's Khan.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Watke, I believe it's your pick, your 8th pick overall.
Oh, so who'd you take before Nico again? I can't even remember anymore.
Frankie
so
Maya.
Long. Frankie Maya. All right, that's right.
I'm just going to have a bulldog midfield.
Okay. I am frantically switching tactics here because I'm having trouble filling out my team how it was originally planned. So I'm going to play 2 forwards. I'm going to a classic 4-4-2. I think there's going to be a tactical revolution in the game of soccer by 2026, and this will make a lot of sense then. And I'm going to pick Ayo Akinola, the 20-year-old striker for Toronto FC. He stands out mostly for his movement, which is really smart. He's also strong and fast. He can receive the ball, guy on his back, lay it off. Same type of thing we talked about with Nico. Technically, he's decent every now and then. He'll have a surprisingly good touch. But he kind of plays contained. There's not much flashy about what he does. But when he makes mistakes, it doesn't really look panicky. Seems like kind of a calm dude, which I want that in my locker room. That's my pick.
It's just a pure lack of technique when he makes a mistake, right? It's not lack of composure.
Yeah. Listen, he's not outstanding technically, but he's got time to work on that. Is that even the type of thing you get better at? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. He's been impressive, man. I know Greg Velasquez, my co-host, was not that impressed when he dove into the tape, but Greg and I don't always agree on stuff, and you play through ball to Ayo Akinola, and you feel like there's a good chance he's gonna get there first and send the center back sprawling, and then have like a clear 1v1 with the goalkeeper. That's not a confidence you have in any of the other strikers that we've talked about. Maybe Balogun. I haven't watched a ton of him, but
yeah.
So
go ahead.
Can I also ask your reaction to him picking that? Was that a pained reaction in that you were planning on picking him as well as a double striker position?
No. I actually wasn't. It just was surprised. It surprised me, and I like the idea of a 2-striker setup with Ayo in it. Yeah.
I'm gonna hire a manager to handle the tactics of that, but I can see it working out.
Well, the problem is if you hire a manager that is strictly opposed to 2-forward position or
we have a big problem
formation.
on our hands.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a bunch of y'all hiring DMs, Watke.
Yeah.
After saying
That's great. My DMs
manager.
are open to anyone who wants to manage this team.
Yeah, Watke
Actually,
is
don't
quite
DM me about
busy
that.
with his soil Gervanf duties currently. I've seen a few people get some X's thrown at them. Two of us are right here. I mean, only 2 of us actually.
Yeah, let's take a little break and talk about Soil Gervanf. So how's it going, Watke? As you're senior editor, right?
I'm senior editor. It's just to back up a little bit for people who aren't familiar with it. It's a new publication founded by Jordan Dunathan, at Jordan Dunathan on Twitter. He's an analyst, UEFA B licensed coach, and we're not really sure.
Let me just break in.
Yet.
Let me break in and say I've always pronounced Jordan's name as Dunathan, which has a little more sauce than Dunathan, but. I guess we'll have to ask him which one it is. I don't know.
Anyway, he's the founder and editor-in-chief. It's a website that writes about soccer, probably. Mm-hmm. We'll figure it out.
There's not much soccer on it right now. It's
there's not a lot of soccer yet, but we're really trying to do it.
Talks and the sort.
But stay tuned.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be tuned. Break over. Let's go to... Who's
Is
up?
it my pick now? Or did Watke even... Oh, yeah, he picked Akinol. I think it's my pick now then. I think I'll have to finish off my midfield here and take Brian KO. So I'll take the other player who's moved to Wolfsburg recently. I think I read he'll start with Wolfsburg, the reserve side, unlike Kobe, who I think is started with the U19 squad. He played in USL for Loudoun. He's a really, I don't even know who to compare him to, because he's just a downhill go at you player. Like he carries the ball pretty well. He can clean up, his touch, his first touch. He'll sometimes knock the ball a little too far ahead, but when he gets going, pushing the ball forwards, I think he's pretty good in combination, especially the one goal, I don't know if any of you remember it, but the one goal he scored for Loudoun, or maybe no, the one goal he assisted for Loudoun was it was a really nice goal. He picked up the ball, drove forward, quick 1-2, and then laid it off for a good finish. I think he's a pretty high upside player, but there's also a lot of risk, especially in the way that he plays. But I'm excited to see how he progresses at Wolfsburg now that he's officially moved there. And yeah, I think he would play. He would round out my midfield, play maybe just ahead of box to box of Cardoso. So yeah.
He's one thing about KO is when he's on the field, you always notice he's there because things are happening. Mm-hmm. He's sort of just an instigator of events. I remember one of his USL games last year, there was a 15-second span where he did two separate, what were basically two-footed slide tackles really quickly. And I just thought it was really fantastic. They weren't dirty or anything. And one of them actually was successful. So I think if you're having that kind of hit rate and being aggressive, that's great. Actually, it was probably not good defending. I just want to be clear about that, what was happening on those plays.
It's a good point, though. He is often at the center of the action. And another thing about him is he seems to be really well regarded by coaches. You know, he got a chance with the senior men's national team in camp. He was slotted immediately into Wolfsburg's first team training, wasn't he? Or Wolfsburg 2?
I think so.
While Kobe is training with the U19s. So something about him pops out for, coaches.
Then I don't think I took a player before that, right? No, I think it's...
No, you got another pick coming your way right now.
All right, I think I guess I really don't have anything else to do. I have to take a center back finally here. I think I'll take Leo Sepulveda, left center back. This is a complete shot in the dark here because I don't really know any of the remaining center backs on the board. I don't even know what club does he play? Some club in like the Spanish third tier or something. Salamanca, something like that.
Yeah, Salamanca.
Yeah.
There's no tape on him.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched him. I know he played DA, and I think USL like a couple years ago, but I never saw that. I mean, this is just a shot in the dark. I know pretty sure he's a left-footed center back, decent passer maybe. I mean, if Belz, if you know more, Watke, if you know more,
nobody knows more.
I know Brian Clabin's high on him, and as a former player of his, and I think Anthony Hudson spoke very highly of him in an interview with Brian Sciaretta, I believe. So that means something, you know?
Yeah, and also he's had some... This is obviously very silly season, but there's been some interest reportedly from Real Madrid, stuff like that. I'm not sure how much of it is completely fabricated, but I don't know. Yeah. Just one talking point, I guess, because I don't have anything else really to go off.
Watch your back, Sergio Ramos. Watch your back. Yeah, he's left-footed. That's another thing. Did you mention that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the fact is it gets real thin essentially after Richards, at center back. Because Mark McKenzie would be a great pick in this draft, except he got that 20-minute
20-minute round, yeah,
against Costa Rica.
It's probably my pick, isn't it?
Yep.
And I need a right back. But instead, I'm going to pick a center back because I also need a center back. No, I'm picking a right back. I don't know. What am I going to do with this center back situation? I'm just going to pick Mauricio Cuevas, a right back 17-year-old right back for LA Galaxy 2 right now. He's not the most exciting, but he's a good passer and knows what he wants to do with the ball and doesn't get flustered. Decent athlete, not a outstanding athlete.
I really like Cuevas. He is a good passer of the ball, as you said. And we need our fullbacks to be able to possess the ball and find feet between the lines and not get rattled.
He's been playing some left back for Los Dos, right, this season?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Do they do that to develop some comfort there? Or why are they doing
do they have another good right back that's playing for USL, or is this because I haven't watched any?
Not that good of a prospect, I don't think. If I am wrong, I apologize to whoever that is, but I'm not sure.
I bet it's just bald necessity, Yeah. They don't have a left back, because they squandered their opportunity to sign Kobe Hernandez-Foster. Clowns. Is it my turn? believe it is. And I need a right back, a left back, and a goalkeeper. I'm going to go with David Ochoa at goalkeeper.
Okay.
I believe he is the best prospect in this group. If anybody's seen him or heard from him in the last few months, let me know. I have no idea where he is. He's not on RSL rosters. He's not on Real Monarchs rosters. Fallen by the wayside.
You don't know either? Nobody knows?
Do you know, Sanjiv?
I have no idea.
I thought he wasn't he with MLS's like the team in the bubble? I thought he got like injured or something.
He probably was with them. Did he get it? If he got injured, then that explains.
I don't know. It's what I think I read like 2 tweets on that on Twitter. So it's very far from the truth. I mean the confirmed truth, but I mean that's just what I saw. I haven't really been. He's not playing for. You said he's not even on Monarchs roster or anything.
Yeah, he hasn't been.
Or who knows?
He's good with his feet. He has a lot of confidence. He plays. He has a personality that I think would really resonate with fans if they got to know him. And I think he's in a not so crowded goalkeeper pool. He definitely sticks out. I'm gonna also take with my 10th pick Chris Gloucester at left back. He's training with the PSV first team, and while he isn't likely to be that sort of attacking threat that we talked about with Jonathan Gomez and Kobe Hernandez-Foster, he is already a more accomplished defender than either of them, and he's not a liability in the attack. He's just kind of steady, and he had a great U20 World Cup.
Yeah, his assist against Nigeria shows that he can definitely be proficient in attack. He was the assist to Soto for the second goal. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice play. So he's my left back. Watke, you're up. Watke, you're up.
All right. I'm going to pick a goalkeeper, and this is a guy whose stock is down a bit from where it was, but I'm going Damian Loss, 18-year-old goalkeeper with Fulham. He's a very good shot stopper, instinctive shot stopper. He isn't bad playing out of the back. He's fine. He did make some mistakes at the U17 World Cup. And there's not a ton of, I haven't seen a ton of him at Fulham U18s, but the reports are actually, I think it was on this podcast that he was doing pretty well there. So next year, he'll be competing hopefully for a starting job with the U23s. Damian.
I don't have much to add to that, and I'm sure Slub does actually. 2
years ago, I mean, he was viewed as like an absolutely can't miss prospect, and
yeah,
he does have a lot of, he's got a lot of panache and confidence. We'll see. Sometimes it feels like when a player goes to England and starts playing for a U18 side, we're like never going to hear from him again until they show up at RSL.
We may not,
but yeah. Loss is right up there.
All right. I'll take my goalkeeper. I'll take probably the oldest player. I'll take Matt Turner here. I don't think he hasn't been capped, right? I probably should have made sure before. Let me check real quick.
If he has been, this is a significant penalty.
Yeah, you lose 5 spots if he's been capped.
All right, he has not been capped, so I will take Matt Turner. He's 26 right now. He'll be 30. I'm not sure when his birthday is. He'll be either 31 or 32.
Whoa. We're doing U23s.
Oh, is this only U23s?
U23s.
Penalty.
Oh, man. Well, I don't even have another goalkeeper listed. I don't even. I'm trying to think.
Just take JT Marcinkowski.
Yeah, Marcinkowski.
Isn't he like 25?
Actually,
he's
he might be. Is he?
Actually, no. What's his name? The U17. I'll take Chituro Odunze.
Okay.
Odunze.
I don't know, he's like a 6'8" keeper. He looks really imposing in his box. I'm not the Greg to really comment on the keeping aspect, but I don't know. I just didn't really want to take Marcinkowski here. No disrespect to him, of course, but Odunze is just the most appealing option. Well, I wanted to take Matt Turner. I think he's I wouldn't be surprised if he's. I don't want to say. I don't want to make a prediction like that. Actually,
I mean, you actually, I'd say, disrespected him at least 3 times because first you took an illegal player, then I suggested you take him, which would have been so easy to do. You said no, and then you took a 17-year-old.
Well, where is he? Is he even like? Has he ever played in MLS? Like, I don't even know what. Is he on? He's on San Jose, right?
Yeah,
he's their backup keeper right now.
Yeah, he spent most of his time at Reno.
Okay.
Reno,
wait,
1885 or whatever it is.
Is Odunze? He's at like Leicester or something, right?
Yeah,
I think
Odunze is a great pick. I'd say he's at least pulled even with Las, in the very small public consciousness that we consistently refer to.
He was like.
I sometimes forget how few people it is.
Yeah, it's very few people that are really as in.
Yeah, it's like 3 people said that Odunze is as good as Las on Twitter. So it's the whole landscape has changed.
Didn't he start over Las or something like that at the U17 World Cup, or start a few games over him?
Lost the job basically. I was so disgusted I didn't watch the 3rd game. Full disclosure.
I stopped watching after the Busio goal. It was all downhill after that.
That was the one in like the 2nd minute of the first match.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Odunze is a great pick. He's huge and still very young. Just so everybody knows, Jonathan Klinsmann, CJ Dos Santos, Brady Scott, JT Marcinkowski, and Trey Muse are the other goalkeepers that are sort of in this category that I can tell.
Possibly Matt Freese as well.
Is he
just because he was called into some camp?
Is Freeze? Oh yeah, Freeze is in there.
He's 23.
Look, I don't know anything about goalkeeping. I don't understand it. If a guy can pass with his feet, then he's good for me.
All right. Well, I'll have to take my last pick. Take another center back here. Options are very thin, but I think I'll take Nico Carrera, FC Dallas center back. Just moved to Holston Kiel. Pronunciation might be wrong here, but 2 Bundesliga team. I assume he'll start off with their U19s, but I mean, I'm not completely sure. I think the way I've seen him is he wants to progress the ball. He wants to carry the ball forward. That could, it does hurt him sometimes because he will turn the ball over or make a mistake there, which is something obviously you don't want to do at the back. He played for the U.S. in the U17 World Cup. Switched. I don't even know if he switched over from Mexico, but there was a little bit of a fight there for him.
He's definitely keeping his options open, right?
Yeah, as most dual nationals are, but defensively, I'll have to delegate that to you guys if you're have any strong opinions on his, positioning or however you want to describe it.
He's very assertive, trying to break up a play for the field, which he often does pretty well. And then I guess the knock is occasionally that will lead to him being out of position, but that's kind of the style he plays.
That's what I see too with Carrera. Just a little bit messy right now, but still young.
And I like the aggressiveness. Wants to play out of the back, wants to break up plays before. But obviously, if he doesn't completely clean up some of these, sloppiness, it could be a pretty big problem in the future.
Okay, that's your team. Hopefully we can
very attack heavy.
Hopefully we can get Greg Velasquez to make some lineup graphics for us. We'll see.
Yeah.
Watke, what do you got? Who do you got for your last
Is this my last pick?
Yeah.
I feel like I only had 7. No, okay. Before I make the pick, is Justin Glad good or bad?
He's okay.
Take what's that guy's? The Chicago Fire.
Let's just say he's better than Nico Carrera and Leo Sepulveda right now.
I completely forgot about Justin Glad. I thought he was.
Okay, I'm going to take Justin Glad.
Very expensive. Yeah.
I'll take Justin Glad, 23-year-old center back for Real Salt Lake, I've never said this before. I think that's a really bad name for a soccer team. Real Salt Lake. There's something about it I don't like.
Yeah.
But just want to get that in there. Veteran leadership. He's going to be 29 at the time. Seems like a good age for a World Cup center back. And Adam, you just told me he was better than Sepulveda and Nico Carrera, so I feel pretty comfortable.
Well, like at this very moment, yeah.
At this very moment, I know he's been inconsistent the past few years, but he seemed okay in this past tournament, right? And we don't have a lot to go on right now with these guys, so I'm taking Justin Glad.
Has he really never been capped before? I feel like he would be one of those one cap players that, I don't know, Sargent would throw at or something.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he hasn't.
It's surprising he hasn't been. He's been in like 2 January camps, and both times he's been sent home, tail between his legs.
Admittedly, is not a great signal for my team there, but that's fine.
I think he's just, he's just figuring out his place in the world and how to respect authority.
Okay. Is this speculation or is this like your take?
It was just me joking around, but I do think there was some noise, some static after like the Sargent January camp about he and Danny Acosta, who was at RSL at the time. They both got sent home early. Rumors were flying everywhere. I mean, it was all over ESPN. Colin Cowherd was talking about it.
A growth opportunity, an important teachable moment, and I'm glad it happened.
Yeah.
Well, I prefer it didn't happen, but.
Well,
it happens.
I got to take a right back, and so I think I'm going to take.
Joe Scally has to be the pick here, right?
Kyle Duncan.
Okay.
Oh. Snubbed Scally, huh?
Yeah, Scally can jump in a lake.
Whoa. These are not my thoughts. Just to be clear with everybody else.
No, Scally's. I have high hopes for Joe Scally.
All right, now that you've cleared your name from your initial comments, you can talk about Kyle Duncan.
Yeah, he's a cousin of Tim Weah, and which is neither here nor there really, but he's a pretty good attacking right back, fairly solid defensively for a pretty bad Red Bull New York team. For me, it's down to Duncan, Aaron Herrera, Scally, or Ian Hoffman for the right backs that are left, and it's close between Duncan and Herrera and Scally, but I just prefer Duncan. And sometimes those preferences have to do with like which game did I watch of his and how good did he look in that game. So I'm not saying that there's any science to it. It's just Duncan's my guy. So we have our teams. Do you guys want to do let's
Are we 100% sure I have 11 players?
For you,
or have I just done a terrible note-keeping job?
I have Glad and Richards as your center back pairing. Mm-hmm. Very, considering what's available, it's very strong. Cuevas and Gomez as your outside backs. Las as your keeper. Booth.
Tessman.
Yeah, Booth, Tessman.
Matko Miljevic
as your midfield. And then
I got Pepe and Io Ekanola. I guess we're going over my team now. That's what we're doing.
We're just trying to make sure you have 11.
Stage of the podcast where
I'm a little confused.
My team and assessing it.
So is Matko your left wing then? If you're playing a 4-4-2?
Yeah, let's get into this here.
Yes.
So Matko's your left wing, Paredes is your right wing.
Oh, that's a good Paredes.
That's what it is. Yes, okay.
And then you have
Matko on the left, Paredes on the right, 2 up top, Akinola and Pepe.
Booth and Tessman holding it down in the middle.
Yep.
Okay.
Classic 4-4-2 setup there.
Yeah. And then Sanjiv, you got Carrera and Sepulveda at center back.
That's not strong, Sanjiv.
Hey, I am fully expecting a very good development for both of them. I think they'll be the best center back pairing out of all 3 of our teams by 2026. And you guys can mark that down. Come back to me in 2026.
All right. If we're all still alive by then, let's do that. And then you got Adunze in goal, Kobe at left back, Araujo at right back, Cardoso, Ko, and Gallegos as your midfield. Is that right?
Yep.
And then Reina and De La Fuente on the wings and Balogun at striker. I mean, I like a lot of those players.
I think my attack is definitely the strong suit, to say the least, of my team.
Yeah, you got fullbacks who can get up and down too. And then I've got Odasoe and Keita as my center back pairing. Goalkeeper is obviously David Ochoa. And then I've got Kyle Duncan at right back, Chris Gloucester at left back, Sands, Nyman, and Sands, Amaya, and Nyman as my midfield. Ledesma at left wing, Dante Sealy at right wing. I wish I could have that one back. And then Gioacchini at striker.
All right.
That's probably pretty strong. I will say I don't think any of these teams is going to win the 2026 World Cup.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's so hard to say who has the best team here. I think, like, which midfield would be dominant? I feel like it would be.
I think it's Chris's, honest. I mean, it's hard to tell because of the. I mean, I don't know. Are your
I'm not dominant. I got it.
Are your left
yeah,
midfield and right midfield? Are they inside forwards, or are they like more like wing backs, or not wing backs, but are they more standard left mid, right mid?
You got to keep in mind, I made this decision in about 15 seconds when I was concerned about some choices elsewhere on the field. I'm going to say they're going to read what's going on the field. They're going to pinch in when necessary. It's going to be a very adaptive 4-4-2.
You just
and really
do what's best.
Formations are really more of a state of mind.
Yeah, formation is just a social construct, so I'm not sure if really any of this is, yeah.
I mean, I like the way Watke's could work is Cuevas and Gomez getting into the attack and combining with, so you switch it in, the 4-4-2 is your defensive shape, switch into a 4-2-4 with Paredes and Mako pushing up, and then you got the fullbacks coming in to support and overlap, and I could see, you might have a stew going there.
Yep.
I would just like I think my attack is, not to toot my own horn, but I think it's pretty clearly the best out of all three.
No doubt.
Especially with Kobe, I think I'll play Araujo as a stay-at-home right back. I don't want like our fullbacks. I don't want like 8 people in attack and like 2 people defending. But yeah, the spine of my team is definitely lacking compared to you guys.
If you get, I mean, you can't. You need Araujo to stay home because like if your center backs get caught in a 1v2, they're toast.
Maybe I'll make it a 3 at the back or something and make Araujo play center back, or I don't know.
I will say it's kind of hard to build a balanced roster for 6 years in the future while remaining present in the conversation. So I think the more important thing is we did that, and we should just be proud of these teams we put together.
Yeah.
And who cares? We're gonna get some critiques on the internet of them.
We may.
Some people are gonna. Yeah.
Well, I'm really surprised that Bofo didn't get picked by someone. I thought he would definitely go. Maybe I don't know. I thought he's been pretty good in Mexico so far.
Yeah, I think Bofo's a snub here. So bring on the criticism, please. I feel a little bad for not taking Alex Mendez. I had it in my mind maybe I'd have a James Sands, Alex Mendez double pivot, and Mendez just handle all the distributional duties. I think that setup potentially has promise if Mendez can sort of take a step forward in his career. A center back that I think is flying under the radar. I only watched 25 clips of him, but it was enough for me to say he should have been picked in this draft. Is Hayden Sargent. Have you guys heard of this kid?
Sacramento, right?
Yeah, Sacramento Republic. He's left-footed. He's got a top knot.
I completely forgot about him.
And he's I think he's pretty good.
I really just picked Justin Glad over him.
Glad is
You
better
don't
right
disrespect
now. I
Justin
mean, Glad
Glad.
plays in the first division and Sargent plays in the second
Wait,
division.
who is Sargent? Is he like a 15-year-old or something?
I think he's 17 or something. Let me double check that. I mean, it's
Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Oh, one?
If you remember, yeah, he's an 01. If you remember, Sacramento had another young player. I forget his name. He was in a
Yeah,
striker.
Roberto Hadegan go to.
Yeah.
I'm probably pronouncing that right. Go to Nuremberg.
And he never got a chance really. So for
Yeah.
them to give
They also have another.
Panagas.
Mario
who?
Panagas,
Yeah.
Mario Panagas.
Isn't that Juragui? Or I know I'm butchering that.
Rafael
Like Rafael.
Where
Doesn't he play there too? Juragui. Doesn't he play there too? Is that a
Yeah,
orange
he
guy?
just got signed there. He's 15. He was born in 2004. I don't know what month. So
So something good happening in Sacramento, I guess.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, I was gonna say that Hadegan never really got a chance at Sacramento before he decamped for Germany, and for them to give Sargent starts at center back means they must have some confidence in him. And I, like I said, I watched a few clips. He looks decent. They haven't given up a lot of goals either.
Let's see, is there any notable players? I mean, Danny Leyva.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, Sebastian Soto, but I mean, his situation is so. I mean, it's clear right now what he's going to do next season, but past that, there's a lot of questions as to what he's going to be doing.
I think the main one is Alex Mendez. I have some regrets about my Akinola pick, and if I
You can't go back on that now.
I'm not. No,
inspiring
I know it's
confidence in
final.
your team.
It's final. It's final. All right.
You gotta inspire
What
the
I'm
confidence.
saying is, if I could go back in time and choose differently, I probably would have put Mendez in there and played a normal formation.
Yeah.
How is a
But
4-4-2
that's
not a
life,
normal formation?
It's always move forward.
Dude, 4-4-2 so 2005.
Yeah, but it's
coming back. You're saying it's coming
It's
back.
cyclical. Yeah, 2026 it'll be the
it'll
formation.
be back. It's 4-4-2 is cyclical, and it's going to come back stronger. I don't actually think that.
I mean, as they, like you said earlier, it's a formation, schmormation. It's all about player responsibilities in relation to other players on the field and in relation to the opponent. Game models, guys. Game models.
Absolutely.
Ask any UEFA B licensed coach. Like, come on.
Yep.
So does anybody feel strongly that their team would be the best? Because I got to say, I don't really. I think my team would be in every game, but I don't know.
I think if I get Balogun, I think my team would be the best. And I know my defense is not, or especially my center backs aren't anywhere near as strong as your guys, but I think Reyna is so far ahead of any other attacker on these teams that, I mean, who else?
I mean, Reyna has
for the listeners, Adam was making a head gesture. It was like kind of like I don't buy that gesture.
Reyna's very ball secure. That's why he plays for Dortmund. He doesn't play for Dortmund because he's been like a game breaker.
Well,
he has 1 assist and 1 goal. Granted, they were both like really nice.
I've actually been looking into this a little bit, and his obviously his sample size is way lower than any other player within the pool right now, or within the Bundesliga right now. But his shot creating actions per 90 and his goal creating actions per 90. I don't know if you can see my screen, but this is him right here.
Just pull up a chart.
Oh, you can't hear me share my screen real quick.
No, I could see it.
Oh, you can see it? Okay, yeah. So this is him, and like he's pretty far and away. He's creating like 1.01 per 90 goal creating actions, 4.04 something shot creating actions. So obviously this I would be very surprised if this didn't drop down with increased sample size. But I would say that he does create pretty well. Like this is an outlier, I would say. But obviously the sample size is
I gotta say,
big.
you really pulled a real ASA move here, pulling out a
Did
graph
you make
on
this
us.
chart yourself, Sanjiv? Sanjiv?
I made this last night. Just
Did you really?
Good grief.
yeah, it wasn't in preparation for this podcast. Don't worry, but
Well, I'm
yeah.
excited about this development in your career that you're making charts now. Whatever.
Well, I
people
just
think about Reyna.
needed some real stats instead of just conjecture.
Well, that's cool. I mean, so that makes some sense to me. I think I'm not going to pull up the clip, but that, Richie Ledesma roulette and his roulette and like very tidy finish early in the young PSV season last year.
Oh, like his turn?
Yeah.
Like where okay.
I mean, that kind of thing I think is special, and we don't see a lot of that from other people. Granted, the level of competition is low, but
I just hope this is his year. I just hope that he can, really start getting some good minutes for PSV's first team. That's my hope, at least.
Yeah.
Well, he just got extended, right? Just to be clear, his contract.
He got extended early in the year, I think.
Okay.
In the spring.
Yeah, I do feel like you're a little bit like a kid in a candy store, Sanjiv, where you waited until the last 3 picks to pick your center backs and goalkeeper. Like, I don't know.
My thinking was you stole everybody that I had on my list, so I figured at this point no one else is going to take a center back, so I might as well just wait until the end. I mean, I think Chris took. I don't even remember. No, Chris took a center back after me even. So
yeah.
So yeah, that was my thinking process behind it.
I think we can agree it was pretty irresponsible what you did.
I don't think I'll ever be able to recover from that. I just think that we shouldn't focus so much on my center backs. It's definitely going to sway some opinion. I think we should more focus on this 4-4-2 that Chris is rocking here. This double striker formation. I'm just a little unsure.
I just want people to keep in mind it's fluid.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
My center backs plan to be fluid too. So
Pepe can probably play the 10. You know what? Call it whatever we want. Just have Pepe drop back and play the 10.
Have him as a shadow striker.
He's good.
Like Josie.
No, he's not like Josie.
You can play him. You can play him like Josie.
I thought you said Pepe. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying like
he has some Josie-like qualities.
Striker.
I think we're just gonna have to punt this over to the listeners, to the viewers.
Yeah.
We'll
don't have any more memes to get off before we.
Yeah. Any more jokes? Any more really funny jokes?
Let me check.
Let me make sure I exhausted everything I had on my list.
No, I said all the jokes. I don't know if people might not have noticed, but I said them.
I mean, some people will. Like, if you know, people will notice.
Yeah, it's definitely an if you know situation. Hey guys, thank you so much for doing this. It's good to see your faces in the middle of this quarantine, and be well. I'm gonna put this on Twitter eventually, and I'll put a poll. We'll try to get the lineups out there. Put a poll, see who people think has the best team. Sanjiv's gonna win just because everybody likes him the best.
Yeah.
But we can live with that.
It's not
right,
a real
Watke?
poll.
Yeah, it's not scientific.
It doesn't count.
I mean, that's. I would be very happy to win.
I mean, do the
my
poll by all
dominance
means,
over
but
Adam.
it means absolutely nothing.
Well, it means something to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that means something to me. So.
Yeah.
All right. Peace, guys. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see ya.